In 1994, after Nirvana ended, Dave Grohl disappeared for a while. No interviews, no big statements, nothing. Then quietly, he went into a studio alone. He recorded a set of songs, playing every instrument himself, drums, guitars, bass, vocals, mostly just to deal with everything that had happened. He pressed a few copies on cassette and gave them to friends. That recording would later become the first Foo Fighters album, and that moment says a lot about who Dave Grohl is, that he is just someone who keeps making music no matter what. Dave Grohl was born in 1969 and grew up in Virginia. He didn't have a structured music education. He learned by listening, copying, and playing along to records. At first, he picked up the guitar, but eventually he moved to drums, and that's where things started to click. By his mid-teens, he was already playing in local bands, not big venues, small shows, basements, community spaces. That early punk scene shaped how he approaches music even today. Before the world knew his name, Grohl was already grinding. At 17, he joined the hardcore band Scream. That meant leaving home and going on tour. Forget about comfort and stability, just long drives, cheap gear, and constant shows. But this is where Grohl became a serious musician. Playing almost every night forced him to get better fast. His drumming became louder, tighter, more controlled, and more importantly, he learned how bands actually function on the road. That experience would matter later.
The way we pronounce the name of the band is Nirvana. It's not Nirvana, so I don't know if it's...
In 1990, Dave joined Nirvana. They had already released Bleach, but they were still figuring things out. What they needed was a drummer who could bring consistency and power. Dave did exactly that. When Nevermind came out in 1991, everything changed almost overnight. The band went from clubs to global stages, and Grohl's drumming became a big part of that sound. It wasn't technically perfect, but it was solid, aggressive, and reliable, exactly what those songs needed. After Kurt Cobain's death in 1994, Nirvana ended, and Grohl was in a strange position. He was known worldwide, but mostly as the drummer from Nirvana. He stepped back and went to the studio to record some songs. And let me remind you, he recorded all the instruments himself. No pressure, no expectations, just music. Those recordings were never meant to become a band. Dave Grohl went into the studio alone and recorded everything himself, just to stay busy and process what happened after Nirvana. But the tapes started circulating, people noticed, labels got interested, so he had a decision to make. Leave it as a one-time project or turn it into something real. He chose to build a band. That's how Foo Fighters started. And this is where Grohl's role changed completely. For the first time, he became the lead vocalist. It wasn't an easy switch. Leading a band is different. Great power, great responsibility. Early lineups didn't last long, but he kept writing and pushing forward. What started as a solo recording quickly turned into a full band with its own identity. And from that point on, Dave Grohl wasn't just the drummer from Nirvana anymore. Foo Fighters are now one of the biggest rock bands in the world and continue to perform globally. Their discography includes 12 studio albums, and their songs Everlong and The Pretender have surpassed 1.7 and 1 billion streams respectively.
You just go, yeah, and the stadium goes, yeah.
There are a few things that make Dave Grohl stand out. First, versatility. He started as a drummer, but successfully moved into being a frontman. That transition doesn't happen often. Second, his approach. He doesn't overcomplicate things. Most Foo Fighters songs are built on simple structures, but they work because of timing, energy, and delivery. And third, consistency. Across different bands and roles, his playing always serves the song, not the ego. Dave Grohl's career isn't built on one moment. It's built on a series of decisions. Joining a touring punk band as a teenager, saying yes to Nirvana, starting over after everything ended, and recording a full album alone without knowing what it would become. And that's why he's so important in the music world. He's real. No big statements, just actions. And in the long run, that made the difference.
I just play drums. I just go out and have fun, and I play drums, and it's great, you know. And I wouldn't have it any other way, because I mean, you know, I don't want to sit behind a desk.